can't be a part of a $10 million fraud and say, my bad, wasn't me, they f***ed me over too, and walk away when you're in charge of the whole thing. You're running it. You and your team hired these guys. You don't get to walk away. And he knows that. And his lawyer told him that. The problem is Logan Paul, he's saying that the game works. It never worked. There's no game. So you're pitching it to kids. You were pumping up stock. You're telling people they should invest. And you're saying that you're in complete control. You're talking about how you guys drew up all these things. You've done all this work. The truth is now you're going to turn around and tell the U.S. attorney, I really wasn't in charge of the whole thing. Like these guys were running the whole thing. It ended up falling apart. I didn't come up with the money. I didn't pay anybody. His lawyer for sure said, listen, you think the FBI doesn't want to indict someone like you and say, hey, look, this guy's running scams? That's a big case for the FBI. That's a lot of good publicity. Like, look, what we're fighting for, you guys out there that for investors, and these guys are running scams. So that's a big deal. So him going in first, being proactive, talking to the U.S. attorney, working out a deal, and everything that he did since then absolutely falls in line. It's either you did that, or you just were a part of a deal where there was $10 million in loss, hundreds of victims, and you decided to walk away and said, fuck them. Like, it's one of two things. You're either a complete piece of garbage, or you're a piece of garbage, but you're trying to do damage control with the U.S. government. Like, either these investors lost all this money and you walked away, and now you're only coming back out and saying something because CoffeeZilla came out with this thing and it doesn't seem to be going away. But it doesn't make sense. Like that part of it doesn't make sense because you went for a whole year. You went for a whole year and you didn't sell your tokens. Like the only one that explains why you didn't sell your tokens when everybody else was and the whole thing was falling apart, the only thing that makes sense is that you went to the U.S. attorney's office. You were told by your lawyer, and the U.S. attorneys, don't sell your tokens. You have to make good on this. And we're investigating. Don't do anything until we complete our investigation. That's why you went silent. Otherwise, why wouldn't you have sold all your tokens and said, F you guys? Or why wouldn't you have hired a team and completed the whole thing? And even if he did that and it was coming out, he'd still have to wait for the end of the investigation. So to me, that's the only thing that makes sense.
And so what do you think? What do you think comes of the investigation, if there is one?
I mean, I think one or two people get indicted. I think that if they go to trial, Logan Paul has to, he would probably be listed as either an unnamed co-conspirator, right? And he would have to testify. These guys won't do that. They will most likely, they would take some kind of a plea agreement, for wire fraud, conspiracy to commit wire fraud. They'll get, they'll get whatever their initial investment was, or whatever the loss was that they were associated with, $1 million, $2 million, $6 million, whatever. Then they'll have to do whatever time the sentencing guidelines say they have to do. But if they cooperate, they may end up getting a year or 2 years. Some of these guys have already been to jail a few times, so they have a record. If the record's, I think if it's more than 15 years old, they don't hold that against you. But most likely a couple of guys go to jail. Is it 2 years or is it 10 years? I don't know. Like I don't have the calculations.
Yeah.
Logan Paul doesn't go to jail because he's going to make sure that crypto, either he's going to make sure that CryptoZoo comes out, or he's going to just pay these guys back. Whatever that agreement says he has to do, he's going to do that. Luckily, he can. Like, he's got $500 million or something. Like, he can do that. But it also makes sense why he didn't do it before. Why didn't you do it before? Don't do it first, because they need to be able to equate that loss with the charges. See, if these guys get in front of the judge and say, Your Honor, nobody lost $6 million. It was paid back. This is a civil matter. No, we don't want that. We don't want that. We need that loss to be sustained until they're found guilty, and then you can pay them back, or make the project work. So anyway, that's my take. And honestly, I think that's a pretty good take. And I get why, like, some of these lawyers are like, this and that. They're going back and forth on what happened, but that's my take. Listen, I know a guy. I know multiple guys, but I'll use this one guy, the one guy, because I've mentioned him before. His name is Andrew Levinson, right? He sold Red Bull machines. So you're an investor. you got $100,000. You don't really know what to do with it. Like you got a regular job, but you've saved it up, and you're tired of it sitting in your savings account or your whatever. And you say, you know what? I'm going to invest in some kind of business. I'm going to buy a business. So he runs what's called a business opportunity website. You contact, and he sells Red Bull machines. He was the only person for 3 years that was allowed to sell Red Bull machines in the United States. He created the entire market for Red Bull. You can look him up, Andrew Levinson. So if you put in Andrew Levinson Red Bull, he had a trial and everything because he felt like he didn't do anything wrong. And what he did was he had an agreement with Red Bull to sell the machines. And they would put, for a slight discount, they would sell to any of the people that bought the machines, they would sell the Red Bull cans. Have I explained this to you before?
I might have heard it one time.
Okay. Didn't make much of an impact.
Yeah.
So, so what happened is Andrew would take, let's say, the city of Tampa, because that's where we live. I live is near Tampa. We're kind of Tampa. You live Lincoln. I don't really live in Tampa, but I always say Tampa. Nobody knows where nobody knows where Wesley.
We're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. You know, so anyway, he would take Tampa and he'd break it up into, let's say, 5 regions. And every city in the country is broken up into, like, let's say 5, 6 regions. And you call me and you say, he says, look, I can sell you I've got 5 regions in your city of Tampa. I only have 3 of those regions left. To get a region, at the minimum, you have to buy 5 machines. Each machine goes for $5,000. Okay, so that's $25,000. That's your investment. For $25,000, then you place those machines anywhere you want to place them. You know, and you can put them in schools. You can put them in, like, he makes it sound like it's a joke. Like, oh, you put them in front of a 7-Eleven. You can put the machine, wherever you're in, schools and recreation parks, wherever. I mean, and then what happens is, you say, absolutely, I want to buy a machine. I want to buy them. But and it's so funny because the psychology behind this guy was amazing. They'd say, yeah, but what region? He'd go, well, this region. They go, well, what about this region? You go, no, that region's sold. Even if it wasn't sold, he would never give you really the region that you wanted. He would, because now it makes you feel like
people are getting in on it.
Damn it, they're getting in. They got the good region too. He'd go, listen, doesn't matter. The population of your region is this and this, and this is what the medium income is. Like, he had it all broken down. And he'd say, and then they would say, okay, well, and he'd say, well, listen, we have a contract, or we're supposed to be getting a contract on the region that you want. There's only 3 regions left. Then he'd say, this region's open. Well, I don't really want that. You go, okay, well, this region, we're about to get a contract in on. Now it builds anticipation, like, or anxiety, like, oh my gosh, like, what do you mean you got a contract? Well, we don't have the contract. We sent it to him a few days ago. We haven't gotten anything back yet. So now you've got to get it on it quick. Or he would say, look, I can sell you these 2 regions, this one and this one, but you've got to get it quick because, and he'd come up with some other reason why you have to do it quick. And he also did the thing, what I loved about him was he didn't act like he needed the money. Like, if you started, what about this? What about that? He'd go, okay, well, this doesn't sound like an investment for you. Like, listen, a lot of investments aren't for everybody. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, the website where you found me, yeah, there's a lot of other good stuff there. Like, no, I want to do this one. I want to do this one. I like Red Bull. I drink Red Bull. Okay, well, you have 3 regions. One's about to go. There's 2 more. That's your only choice. Well, if I get all 3 regions, how much of a discount? There's no discount. Why would I dilute my product? Why would I, devalue my product by giving it? Listen, all these regions will sell. Mm-hmm. A week from now, they'll all be gone. You can buy them or you cannot buy them. That's it. I've got other calls. I'm sorry. Just like that.
Yeah.
Keep in mind, this may be his only call that day.
Mm-hmm.
He doesn't care. I don't care. And because of that, people buy. Well, here's how he got in trouble. This is a heavily regulated business that he's got. Oh, by the way, his contract, very solid. It explains, I'm not promising you anything. I'm not promising you that Red Bull will continue to sell you the cans at a discount. I'm not promising you that the machines that I'm selling to you for $5,000 a piece cost me $5,000. I got a discount. I'm not passing it along to you. Like, I'm not promising you that somebody else won't buy these machines and move them into your area. I'm telling you, I will not sell to anybody else that they are going to, that tells me they're going to place them in that area. Mm-hmm. That area is yours. but I cannot guarantee that somebody else I've sold machines to in another country or another state or another whatever won't take the machines and put them in your area. Like, I'm not promising
For
you
anything.
I'm not promising you will sell 1 can a year. I'm telling you right now, you may lose all of your money. You may lose all your money on this investment. Sign here. And that's it. Right there. Sign right there. Well, it doesn't sound like a lot. All right, this isn't the investment for you. I get it. And he'll get up and leave. The point is, he said all that. How did he get in trouble? Like, that contract's solid. He's got a 12-page contract that's 100% says, I'm not promising you anything other than you're giving me $50,000, I'm giving you 5 machines. No, you're giving me $25,000 and I'm giving you 5 machines. It's up to you to put them somewhere, stack them full of cans, sell the cans, advertise. We'll do whatever you want to do. That's it. That's all you get. People buy them. So how did he get in trouble? You know how he got in trouble? His salesmen were recorded. His sales team, just his sales team, was recorded about 5. We're talking, this guy had like 20 or 30 people working for him, calling places around the country. From, I think he's in West Palm Beach. And listen, West Palm Beach, like, it's filled with scammers, grifters. There are tons in West Palm. So, I'm sorry, Palm Beach. So he was in Palm Beach, and what he did was, he's got all these, like 4 or 5 of his guys were caught on the phone. And here's what they would say. Listen, I can't promise you how much, because people would say, well, how much can I make? How much will I can't promise you how much you will make. You may make nothing. What I can do is I can give you the names of some people that have bought machines, and you can call them and you can ask them. But I can't tell you, and I don't know that even what they're saying is true. Mm-hmm. But I can give you names of people that have bought machines or people that have machines. Okay. And he would provide several names, and he had people that he'd given machines, and he said, look, I'm going to give you this machine. It's worth $5,000. I just want you, when people call, tell them how you're doing. Mm-hmm. And keep in mind, too, I'm in prison with this guy. He's already found guilty. He's doing his time.
Yeah.
He's been turned down on his appeals. Everything's over. Now, he's telling me the truth. He goes, I didn't even tell him what to say. He goes, admittedly, I gave you a machine worth $5,000. I know you're going to say good things. He goes, a lot of these guys didn't even try and put the machines anywhere. They just stuck them in their garage and would take the call. He goes, for every call they got $50. So they would take the call and they would say, yeah, man, I'm making like $5,000 a month. I make $1,000 a month. I make $600 a month. Like, so these people would call those people, and they would get false earnings potential. Andrew Levinson was not on the phone one time saying anything. He was never recorded. The other thing that they would do is this. They would say, listen, and this is a complete like con man trick, where they say, look, I can't tell you how much you're going to make on this thing, okay? You're spending $5,000 a machine. You've got to find a place to put it. But let's say, how hard do you think it's going to be to find a place to put it? You think you can find a place? I think this is the whole thing. You think you can find a place? What are they going to say? No, I can't find any place. They're going to say, yeah, I'll find someplace. Okay, great. So what, a rec center, a school, a 7-Eleven, something like that? You're going to find something like that? Yeah, I'll find something. Okay, cool. So you're going to put it what? Your local like 7-Eleven or something? Yeah. Okay, well, how many hours a day is that place open? Oh, it's open like, it's open at least 12, 14 hours a day. Okay, well, let's say 10. How many, you said 14, I'm saying 10. Okay. How many cans do you think you'll sell an hour? Oh, at least 5, maybe 10, probably 10 cans an hour. Look, you said 10. Let's say 5. Okay. You make $1 a can. Right. Okay. How many days a month is that open? Oh, it's open this many. So that's 10 hours. So that's, but it's open 30 days a week. Okay. So 30 days a month. 30 days a month. Okay. So we got 30. That's 10 hours a day times 5, right? So that's 50 times 30. So that's $1,500. So that means you'll be making 15 on the low end. Those were your numbers. I didn't give you those numbers. That's $1,500 a month. $1,500 a month means that this machine pays for itself in 4 months. more than that, really 4.5, but 4 months it pays for itself. Each one of these machines pays for itself. You'll have doubled your money, almost tripled your money within a year. Now, how many businesses do you know? Most businesses lose money the first 3 years. So how many businesses do you know that within 1 year you can double your money? Now, those are your numbers. I'm not promising that. And they would go, yeah, okay, yeah. He was indicted for that. That was the main thing that he was indicted for because people said that was his pitch. Now, why do you think, you're looking at me right now and you're saying, I don't understand. They signed a contract that said they weren't promising anything. He used their numbers on that calculation. Do you know what he did wrong? Do you know why?
I mean, he gave him false hope, I guess. I don't know.
Well, here's the scam. The scam is that how many cans of soda do you think are sold on the average vending machine? 1 can for every 3 hours. He said how many cans per hour? At the minimum, if you said 1, you already make all your money back the first year.
That's true.
So the scam started at the very first sentence, the very first calculation. You were already scammed. There's nothing you can say that doesn't mean you make all your money back in a year. I mean, do the calculations based on the $1 on the can where you make $1 a can. You do that calculation, 1 year you make all your money back.
Yeah.
So the bottom line is that as a result of that, even though he went to trial, even though he was on the stand, nobody, not one customer had ever talked to him. He was never on a recording. He just had to have 3 people get on the stand of his employees who said he knew what we were doing. He helped out. He participated. He knew. He was the one that trained us. He was involved. It was all basically a scam. He still provided you what you signed up to buy these machines. You got the machines. Now you tell me, is that more of a scam than what Logan Paul just did? You still got the machines. You signed a contract, an ironclad contract, said, I'm not promising you anything. You give me $25,000. I gave you 25. I gave you 5 machines. What Logan Paul just did was, and keep in mind that he didn't even make the whole 25 grand. The machines were $3,500. The profit margin was $1,500 a machine, and the employees got $500 that he made $1,000 on the machines, and you still got the machines. You can still put them somewhere. Although the locations to put a vending machine is extremely hard.
Yeah.
He makes it sound easy, but everybody thinks, oh yeah, I'll make a few calls. The hell you will. It's a pain in the ass. So the bottom line is what Logan Paul did, in my opinion, is 10 times worse than what Andrew Levinson did. Andrew Levinson went to trial and because he said, I'm not responsible for this. I don't know what these employees did. I didn't tell those people to say they were making $1,000 a month. Who would even think that's possible? That's ridiculous. He's like, I didn't do this. My employees did. 3 employees got on the stand and said he did it. He knew about it. He got 17 years. Andrew Levinson got 17 years. You know what criminal record he had? None. Not on recording. He's not on one recording. He didn't do anything. Got on the stand, explained the whole thing. Explained that I didn't tell them to say that. I didn't this. I didn't that. 17 years. There's articles about it and everything. But, so you tell me, you've got Logan Paul talking about have your kids invest, your kids' first exposure to the what is it, the
blockchain.
Yeah, blockchain. To the blockchain will be CryptoZoo, and they'll make money off of it. And he's pitching it for you to invest your kid or your kid's money into this coin. And he's telling you right now it's already functional. The kids are playing it. They love it. It's amazing. Put your money in it. It's an investment. You're going to make money. You'll be able to make money playing this game. Bro. Like, you know, and he's going to turn around and say, well, they signed they clicked that they know. Click. They knew we weren't promising them. They clicked it. Andrew Levinson had a contract. People signed it. He would tell people, you're not going to make it. I'm telling you right now. This guy's out there telling people he's going to make money. They're going to make money. Have your kids invest in it. I mean, come on, bro. Like that's, that's like, and I'm saying you're a scumbag. Like that's a scumbag move, and I'm a scumbag. Like,
Yeah.
like if I'm saying, like if if I'm saying you're a scumbag, that's like somebody who, is like a cannibal saying you're sick. I'm sick. You eat people for a living. Like, that's an issue. Like that's.
So you think he's going to the feds and
No,
and
I don't.
cooperating?
I think,
because of-
you're right. I think he's already cooperating.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, he's committed a crime.
Yeah.
They can make a case out of this. This is a case. And keep in mind, the only reason that Andrew Levinson was indicted and tried was because Red Bull was involved. That's a big case. We're going to get a lot of press. The U.S. attorneys decided we're going to get a lot of press if we go after this guy. It's Red Bull. It gives you wings. It's on all. I mean, this is when there was nothing. Red Bull was everywhere. They got people jumping out of these,
Space.
air balloons,
Yeah.
space, and Red Bull they were sponsoring everything. They just come out with like their own magazine. Like it was like Red Bull was amazing. We're gonna get a ton of press. This guy's it's a biz op scam. You know what they pitched it as? All the newspapers were calling it. It was a Ponzi scheme. Because I guess they think that the readers are too stupid to understand that a business opportunity scam is still a scam.
Yeah.
So they were calling it even though some of them did say biz op scam, but they basically were also pitching it as like a Ponzi.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Ponzi. It was a business opportunity scam. And they do happen. There's lots of them that are out there. Do you remember there was all these ATMs. You could do your own private ATM. You could buy a little ATM. You stock it yourself. You get the money yourself. Like it's a whole thing. That was a big one too, where you were going to make this much money. In the end, these guys aren't even making minimum wage.
Yeah.
But they buy the machines, they put them out there. It's a hard business. So, but yeah, I think what Logan Paul did was 10 times as bad as that.
Yeah, I mean, that Andrew Levitt, I mean, it almost sounds like he almost didn't even do much. I mean, obviously it's deceptive, but
it is. And then the funny thing is, like they there's a ton of people. First of all, his lawyer didn't even really put up that much of a fight either. Like there were people he wanted to put on the stand that actually made a business out of the business.
Yeah.
It's a struggle. The one guy that he told me, he said that this kid was amazing. He said, I mean, this kid made it into a business. Like he was good. He had I think he said he had like 20 machines. He said he was like a drug dealer. He's like a drug dealer that was laundering his money through these through the machines, but he was a hustler. Like drug dealers and drug dealer mentality. I hate to get off on this, like if they're not selling drugs and they can figure out how to focus that into something else,
They
they're
can make money.
hustlers, bro.
Yeah.
They're like hustlers. They'll do shit that nobody else will do. Like a 45-year-old divorced mother or divorced woman in her 40s who's a real estate agent can never seem to make money. You take a 25-year-old drug dealer who just got out of prison and you turn him into a real estate agent or have him finding deals. They call them bird dogs. They're basically almost like real estate agents, but they're not licensed.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys will come up with deals left and right because they're willing to go into the hood and knock on doors, bang on doors, talk to people. You own this house? Can I get the owner's name? Can I get they don't care.
Yeah.
They're hustlers. They're driving around. Well, what do you mean it's not there? Oh, well, let me call him. Hey, where you got it? Oh, you didn't. I'm coming right now to get it. I'll come right now to get it. 45-year-old woman doesn't even want to go in the neighborhood. She's damn sure not knocking on doors, not making phone calls, not driving across town. These guys are hustlers. Mm-hmm. So he said he had this kid that had like 20 of these machines or 25 of these machines, and he had found places to put them, was stocking them himself. He turned it into this whole bit and was making money. His lawyer wouldn't put that kid on the stand because he said he looks like a drug dealer, for God's sakes. He's got like 3 gold teeth. He talks in Ebonics. He sounds horrible. We can't put him on. He was like, what are you talking about? If he can make a business out of it.
Yeah.
So anyway, there was a bunch of little tiny things like that. Like the people that would call and say they had the machine and they were doing well. Those people, I don't think he put those people on because those people were, for some reason, yeah, but I don't want to mention them because you did give them $50 for every person. Yeah, well, I want them to call them back. Yeah, but it could be construed that you told them what to do. But the problem was when they were investigated, the FBI didn't want to put them on the stand either. Or, I'm sorry, the U.S. Attorney's Office didn't want to put them on the stand either because they were saying, no, he never told me what to say. Because he didn't. I didn't tell you what to say. Granted, they were saying nothing but good things, but they didn't. It's not like, no, he told me to say we were making at least $500 a month. I never told him that. I just said, here's a machine, put it somewhere. Tell when people call, I'll give you $50 for every call you take, and tell them how you're doing. That was it. So, like, to me, put those guys on the stand.
Yeah.
Nope, don't want to do it. Like, it was a bad deal. But the bottom line is that they brought charges. The main reason they brought charges, by the way, is he couldn't make good. He had an opportunity. He could have done a pretrial intervention. He could have paid people back that felt they had been screwed over, but he didn't have the money to do it. Got to keep in mind, almost a chunk of all that money was blown to buy the machines, to pay employees for his own living expenses. Like, that's a problem. Logan Paul can make good on these. He can pay these people back. He can hire a developer to fix this whole thing. He can make this good. He's got a good attorney. He can go in. He can fix it. So I think he's going to fix it. What I think his worst issue was his the video he just came out with. Yeah, his apology video was horrendous.
It was. I think most people were expecting like an hour-long podcast. They were saying he originally said he's going to put it on Impulsive, like his podcast, where all three of his buddies will sit around and talk. And maybe that comes out today. But they were even saying yesterday, the day the video came out, that podcast was coming out and never came out.
Right.
So CoffeeZilla does 3 hours expose, or hour and a half, however long it was, and then he's got like a 7-minute clip, and it's like scripted word for word.
One of the things he says in there, what I loved was when he said the guy Eduardo, or Armando, or whatever his name, one of the victims.
Oh yeah.
He's like, put my kid's money into CryptoZoo. And he's like, I mean, he invested his kid's money, like your kid's, like, it's like, well, Logan, you're acting like that's a horrible thing, but you were pitching this for kids.
Yeah.
You were focusing on it. You were telling people that your kids will make money, that this will be this will be your kid's first exposure to the blockchain. Just like you were, it's little tiny eggs that hatch.
Well, he's like, he goes back, he like contradicts himself,
right?
Like, and I remember when he tweeted at CoffeeZilla originally, he's like, I've enjoyed your work, all this kind of stuff. And then the first 10 seconds of his video, he's like, it's not worth, his work isn't worth anything. It's just gossip.
It's all gossip. It's turned into a guy. It's clickbait. You're using my name for click. Who doesn't? Yeah. I'm doing it. Everybody does it. That's what everybody does.
Everybody started doing it from last night. And then if you look at the video, his point was, CoffeeZilla didn't know these guys were fraudsters or scammers.
Right.
And
but
it's
you hired them. Yeah. They're running that's your team. You're putting them in charge of a financial instrument. You're putting them in charge of. Why didn't you have them vetted? He was like, well, my team didn't do it. Who's your team? Your team is probably Jeff, right? It's got to be Jeff the manager. So Jeff the manager is the guy that probably hired these guys. Like, otherwise, who's your team? Did you fire your team? Why aren't we talking about your team?
Yeah.
Did your team say, yeah, you're right, I f***ed up. That's not good. The other thing is that the Jeff thing where he's like, you reached out to me at the last minute no.
Christmas Eve.
Yeah. No. And then,
he had to know about it.
First of all, are you telling me that this guy reached out to Jeff twice?
Talked to him on the phone.
Jeff didn't. Through Jeff, he said, hey, Jeff, I want to talk to you, and I'd love to talk to Logan. And Jeff said, basically gave like a veiled threat that they'll sue him if he goes through with the whole thing. And that Jeff never mentioned to Logan, this guy's doing a report. Come on, of course he did. That's your manager. That's who you reach out to.
Yeah.
That would be like me saying you called that somebody sent 2 emails to you, and I said, well, you never called me. You never
and talked to me on the phone.
Yeah, and talked. Yeah. But you didn't tell me.
Yeah.
Of course you'd tell me. Yeah, I mean, we send emails back and forth all the time. Of course you're going to say, this guy's saying that this is a scam. He's going to do a whole expose. It's CoffeeZilla.
Yeah.
Oh, we won't say anything. And then I'll say he never tried to talk to me. Like, come on, man.
It's hard for me to believe that they filmed that script, put it out, and then that everyone just said, okay, this is good. Like, this will be.
Your team looked at this thing and said, yeah. That's the way to go. Don't take responsibility. Blame everybody else. So the same reason that you're saying, and this is what also killed me, by the way, about him saying, these guys are criminal, a con man and a criminal. Right, the con man and criminal that you hired. And here's the problem, that you would deal with them or take their word. Well, first of all, it wasn't their word. It was also all the communications, the comments back and forth, like the tweets or what was it, a message sent? What was it where they were going back and forth?
Between him and Coffeezilla or him and his team? Oh, yeah. About.
Right. So it wasn't their word.
Yeah.
He's backing it up with texts, back and forth, back and forth. So there's a group text of some kind going back and forth, which pretty well spells out that you guys are screwing each other over left and right. And so they explain that whole situation. He doesn't address that at all.
Yeah.
All you're concerned about, you're not worried about investing or helping your
victims.
He's not. First, it's clear that he is not really genuinely concerned about having parents invest for their children in this cryptocurrency that is going to make them money. The real goal is for him to make as much money as possible. That is the first goal. The reason he can't sell. So it's saying, I haven't sold. No, you can't sell. You and Jeff know it's a scam. At this point, everybody knows it's a scam. You can't sell. So then he turns around and says, "You're dealing with so Coffeezilla. Your whole thing is you're believing all these criminals' points of view, and that. Well, guess what? If there's a huge scam into a drug conspiracy, do you know who the U.S. government puts on the stand? Drug dealers, criminals. Because guess what? Decent people aren't involved in a scam. So I can't go talk to decent people because guess what, Logan? You're running a scam with criminals. That's who you run scams with. Criminals. I know. So I know what a scam is and I know who I deal with. I deal with criminals. So yeah, you're right. Of course he's talking to criminals. He can't go talk to an upstanding brain surgeon because that brain surgeon wouldn't be involved in your little scam. That is pretty obvious. Like, that just seems so silly to me that he would even make that argument. Like, obviously I have to deal with criminals.